Hi, in this video I'm covering the game between Fabiano Caruana and Maksim Chigaev from round 1 of Grand Swiss, and they played the Najdorf Sicilian, but the one with h3. And now white wants to obtain some space on the king side with g4, g5 eventually, and to prepare some kind of attack. Black plays e6. It's also possible to play e5. It would lead to an entirely different type of position. But he plays e6 here. And now white plays g4. And black is trying to neutralize somehow with h6 to stop g5. White plays a3. Probably the idea is to just make queen b6 useless. Because now after bishop b3 there's no possibility of this capture on b2. Because knight a4 would just lose the queen. I'm not sure what's exactly the point of a3, but one of them is this. He plays bishop e7 and now bishop e3, developing his bishop and preparing the queenside castle. Knight c6 and now rook g1. Going for g5 at some point, anticipating black castling on the short side and just going for g5, opening up the g file and creating an initiative on the king side. Knight d7, now he's stepping away from getting attacked with tempo with g5. White goes bishop e2, he waits, and now black plays g5. He is exposing his kingside pawns, but also he wants to put one of his knights on e5 to have a good outpost and maybe to transfer the other knight to b6 and compete for the c4 square. So white just goes queen d2, prepares h4 also at some point, and now, like I said, he plays knight e5 to have a good spot for his knight. White castles, and now black launches some kind of offensive on the queen side with b5, and now white tries to do the same on the king side. Plays h4, trying to open up the h file and to use the fact that black's king is not active, is not safe at the moment. Bishop b7 is played, and now white took hg, and now white tries to compete for the h file with rook h1. Black goes rook g8, because if he takes on h1, there's no piece that can oppose this knight on h1. There's no rook to oppose this rook on h1. And black thinks it's better just to keep this rook on g8. But now white goes rook h5. He tries to double rooks on the h file, so he can force some exchange on h8. Black goes rook c8, and now white doubles with rook dh1. And here black plays bishop f6. A very nice move, stopping rook h8 from happening. Because if he plays knight b6 here, trying to go to c4, now after rook h8, black has to go to d7, because if he stays in the center with king f8, now with f4, white is completely opening up the position and opening up diagonal for his bishop on e3. Also opening up the f file, which would put black in big danger. And after he goes to d7, now this whole queenside attack doesn't make any sense, because the king is in the way, and it can be double-edged if he tries to continue his attack on the queen side. So it's better just to play bishop f6 like in the game, and now White plays a safe move, f3, trying to consolidate his pawns on e4 and g4. And now black makes a slight inaccuracy, he plays queen e7. Here it was better just to continue with knight b6 and go towards c4. And also, if white plays b3, then after d5, this would lead to a very sharp position for both sides. It's not clear how this position would end up. Instead, black waits with queen e7, and now white plays king b1, a very useful move in these kinds of positions, to step away from the c file on where the black's rook is. And now black plays knight c4. White took, and now he kicks away the rook with b3, rook c8, and now it was better just to get the knight back, but I believe that Fabi didn't see how exactly should he proceed here. It seems like black's position is pretty solid, and it's tough to find a concrete way to punish black's passive position, because all the squares in the center are covered, d5, f5 are covered, so he tried more practically to play here. He sacrificed a piece with knight d5. His idea was to just get one of his knights on a good square, so black took, of course, and now he went to f5. He activates his knight, and now he gets some initiative. Black plays queen e6, and now white takes on g5. It is very dangerous to capture on g5, because now, after simply capturing, black cannot capture back, because this would be just too dangerous. After queen g5, white is a piece down, but all his pieces are working together, and next threat is rook h6 and capturing d6 pawn, which in combination with a weak king is going to be fatal. So he's not exchanging, he plays bishop c3, keeping the bishop on the board, because he's very important in stopping rook h8. And now white plays queen h2, attacking on d6, and also hinting towards h8. Not immediately, but after a potential exchange, or if the diagonal is blocked for this bishop. So black plays knight e5, and now rook h6. If the queen moves, then d6 pawn is hanging, and also with check, and also the rook on c8 is going to fall. So black plays rook g6, which is a mistake in this position. It was better just to play knight g6, and even if he allows knight d6, black can go king d7, and in case of capture on c8, a rook can simply capture, and black has two pieces for a rook. And also black has some potential ideas like queen d6, capturing on a3. This bishop on c3 would be very powerful in this position. So here, if he takes on b7, then after king c6, black would return his piece. But still, the position is quite double-edged because of the weakened position of his king. But the position is objectively equal, I think. After rook h6 in the game, Chigaev played rook g6, and now white took on g6, queen g6, and now he plays queen f4, introducing the threat of rook h6 and capturing on d6. And here, black took on f3, which was the final mistake. In my opinion, here just f6 would be quite resilient for black, but still, after knight d6, king d7, white would not capture on c8 immediately, he would capture on f6, and after rook f8, white has rook h6, and those pawns on the king side look very dangerous, even though black has a piece, extra piece. So if he takes on f6, white can take, and after all these exchanges and bishop c6, this g pawn looks quite dangerous, and it would not be so easy to save this position, but still it offers much more chances than in the game. Here, like I said, black took on f3, and after he captures d4, queen e3, now white has a material balance in view of number of heavy pieces and light pieces, but his position is dominant because black's king is completely in the open, and knight on f5 and bishop on g5 are monsters. Black goes back to g7, and now white infiltrates with queen a7. Black takes on g5, and now queen takes b7. Rook has to step away on d8, and after rook h7, Chigaev resigned because he's losing his bishop. And if he moves the bishop, then he's getting checkmated on f7. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and see you later. Bye.